One of the most important macro events is happening very soon, and it's critical to know what historically has happened so we can prepare ourselves in the crypto market. Let's dive into some data and the news. We've got the FOMC meeting happening today at the time of this recording, and historically, regardless if the news is bullish or bearish, the same pattern takes place every time in Bitcoin. It's part of a market manipulation strategy, in my opinion. I'm going to show you what that looks like here. Historically, after the FOMC meeting, there is a dump, a flush out in the Bitcoin and crypto market. Could this time be different? I think it could, and I'm going to show you why here. Part of the reason is we've never had such bullish news from traditional finance. Here we are looking at the CEO of Fidelity saying she rarely makes public appearances, but she likes Bitcoin, she owns Bitcoin, and believes it will play a role in the savings hierarchy. They have trillions of dollars of assets under management, so this is a strong vote of confidence from a big player in traditional finance. We've also got Ramaswamy saying Strive is going to raise another $500 million to purchase more Bitcoin. It's not just traditional finance, it's also many government officials that are coming out. Of course, those two are intertwined for better or for worse, but this is just more bullish news on what's happening behind the scenes. And speaking of traditional finance, take a look at the major banks that are going to allow issuing credit against your Bitcoin holdings. We've got Bank of America, BNY Mellon, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Schwab, and Citi. Those combined make up basically the entire banking industry. So it's a big deal that they're going to allow loans against Bitcoin. They make their money oftentimes by loaning money out. And this line here, I think, is so telling. Banks don't lend against assets that they think are going to zero, FYI. That is absolutely true. They would be stuck on the hook. If they give you credit against an asset and that asset goes to zero, like many people say Bitcoin will do, then they would be on the hook. They are not going to do that. They only issue credit against something they believe has a solid foundation. Now, where can Bitcoin go from here if this really is the super cycle, as people are saying? Jack Mallers is on here talking on, it looks like NYSE TV, and he's saying Bitcoin isn't going for 150. It's going for everything, right? There is $400 to $500 trillion in savings in the savings market, and we are a small fraction of that in terms of Bitcoin he's talking about at 2.43 trillion. So that's 100 to 200x. That would be fantastic. Could that happen? In my opinion, absolutely. It's not going to happen today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. Not even, I don't think, the next decade to get to those levels, but on a long enough time horizon, Bitcoin has historically gone up and up and up, averaging over 40% annually forever. Another legendary Bitcoiner, Adam Black, said Bitcoin is in the early stages of a bull market driven by sovereign wealth, banks, and pensions. This is contrary to the typical 4-year cycle everybody believes in. However, the 4-year cycle may have lined up very well with the business cycle, so it seems like it was all caused by the halving, but in fact, it was the business cycle. And now we have major TradFi players with real money entering into this space, which I do think will be a catalyst. Now, in the short time horizon, anything can happen, and more government/business people, American Bitcoin, owned by the Trump family, acquired another 416 Bitcoin and now holds nearly 5,000. They are proud that they have reached the 22nd largest Bitcoin treasury company. They want to be number one. Strategy wants to be number one. Jack Maller's company wants to be number one. It's a big fight, but Strategy is way out ahead right now. So where does the Bitcoin price go next? On the short time horizon, it's literally anyone's guess. People can come up with charts and graphs and historical data, but it really means nothing, to be honest. It only makes sense in hindsight to be able to explain the moves. There is so much macroeconomics that are tied up to the Bitcoin price that it's going to be very difficult to understand what's causing the price movement. You also have market manipulators, so there's so many factors. However, my thesis remains the same. On a long time horizon, Bitcoin is the greatest store of value because it continues to go up and up and up. If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We are going to do way more episodes of Around the Block coming up here so that you can stay up to date very quickly on all the macro news and crypto news that will help you position yourself properly in the market.